Yo, what is up guys? Del Boy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Devin Haney defeats Yuriorkis Gamboa by a lopsided unanimous decision to retain his WBC lightweight title. Now there's been a lot of talk in regards to Devin Haney's performance post-fight. Some people are saying that he looked terrible. Others are saying that he boxed a masterful fight. The overwhelming impression that I got from Devin Haney's performance was that he still looks like a prospect to me. He doesn't really look like a world champion right now, as far as I'm concerned. I see him as a really talented young fighter with a good skill set, a lot of room for growth. But right now, I've got to be honest, I'm still not prepared to call Devin Haney one of the future stars of boxing. I think he's a really good talent, like I said. He does have potential. But, as I mentioned, to me he still looks like a prospect. So for me, the jury is still out on Devin Haney. But in regards to the Yuriorkis Gamboa fight, how did he perform? I mean, he pretty much won every round. I think the 6th round was really the only round in which you could have argued Yuriorkis Gamboa won. Apart from that, Devin Haney was boxing well behind his jab, keeping distance against the shorter man in Yuriorkis Gamboa, not giving Gamboa too many openings to explode and land those quick power shots. Like I said, Devin Haney was doing a good job keeping behind that jab, keeping range, picking some good right hands and also left hooks, and he was minimising the risk of getting caught by the explosive Yuriorkis Gamboa. But, for me, this performance was just workmanlike. It wasn't anything special, it wasn't horrible, it was just workmanlike, to be honest. Didn't really set the world alight. He did what he needed to do without really setting the world alight. Like I said, I think the term for this performance would be workmanlike for Devin Haney. But yeah, he showed some good skills. The jab, when he was using it, was very, very sharp. A pretty good jab that he was displaying. I would like to see some more variety on Devin Haney's jab, and also I would like to see him throwing that jab with more regularity and also more variety. In this fight with Gamboa, he was kind of avoiding the jab to the body, wasn't really throwing it all that much. I would like to see Devin Haney vary that jab from body to head, change levels, find a way to set up that right hand. Also, his jab in this fight, while it was very sharp and it was rocking the head back of Gamboa at times, it was pretty much the same jab over and over, like a quick snapping jab. But like I said, I want to see more variety from that jab. Not only changing levels like I mentioned earlier, but change the way you throw the jab. He's got that quick snappy jab, but also the power jab, the up jab, the throwaway jab to set up that right hand. I want to see more variety on that jab. And also one thing I noticed in this fight, and I noticed it in his last fight with Alfredo Santiago, was the fact that when Devin Haney is fighting somebody who's not coming forwards with little defense, Devin Haney really isn't all that special at creating his own offense, creating his own openings. Gamboa was kind of awkward, didn't really give Devin Haney too many openings, and as a result, Devin Haney really wasn't looking all that explosive, all that dangerous in this fight. I want to see Devin Haney do a better job at creating his own openings. I would like to see more feints from Devin Haney, try to draw the lead, try to draw his man in, and then counter. Devin Haney is a good counter-puncher, but in this fight, I think we saw when Devin Haney has to force the issue and create his own offense. To me, he looks kind of, I wouldn't say basic, but he doesn't look as comfortable in those offensive moments as he does when he's kind of fighting on the back foot looking for counters. So yeah, I want to see Devin Haney work on his offense a little bit more when he's fighting more crafty opponents. He can unload when he's fighting sort of flat-footed fighters who come forwards with little defense. He can unload then, but when he's fighting more awkward guys, more defensively sound guys, I think he needs to work on his offense and his setup game. Like I said, Devin Haney, when he's more aggressive, he's very flat-footed, and at times, his right hand is rather telegraphed. I want to see Devin Haney be a bit more cute with his offense, throw feints, draw the lead, then counter while being aggressive. You can still counter while being aggressive, throw more combination punches, etc. Be a bit more authoritative with your front foot game. That would be the main criticism I've got in regards to Devin Haney's performance against Gamboa. To me, his offense didn't really look all that polished. as far as I'm concerned, and also his punch technique in general. To me, he doesn't really sit down on his punches all that well. He needs to brush up on his punch technique. His wider punches, like the left hook, are a bit cuffing, a bit slapping. So yeah, he needs to tidy up on his punch technique a little bit and just be a bit more, have a bit more variety in his offense. Those are some areas where he needs to improve. In regards to his punching power, I mean, Devin Haney's never really been sold as a one-punch knockout artist, but I have to say, fighting this version of Yuriorkis Gamboa, I was disappointed that he couldn't get the stoppage. Because to me, Gamboa, in this fight, he didn't look in great shape. Just by looking at his body, he looked old, he looked as slow as I've ever seen him. I would expect an elite level guy to stop this man at this point in time, so I was a bit disappointed with Devin Haney not getting the stoppage, and the fact that he never even dropped Gamboa was a little bit worrying, considering Gamboa, I believe, has been dropped by 9 different opponents. That's a little bit worrying going forwards. Quite frankly, like I said earlier at the start of this video, to me Devin Haney looks like a prospect with a world title. I don't think he's a world-class fighter just yet. I think he's got great potential and he can go a long way. I like what he's got already. I think he's got a lot of raw potential and his head is screwed on right. He lives for life, stays in shape, he's got good people around him, so Devin Haney can go all of the way in my opinion. All I'm saying is right now, I wouldn't call him like an elite level lightweight, like a genuine world-class lightweight. I wouldn't call him that right now. He could be already, you never know, but I've not seen enough, to be honest. I've not seen enough. I think the ideal fight for Devin Haney next would be the winner of Luke Campbell versus Ryan Garcia. I think that would be a great fight for Devin Haney. If he can't get that fight immediately, fight someone like Javier Fortuna. I think that would be a great fight for Devin Haney. Maybe someone like Jorge Linares. All of these opponents would be great for Devin Haney's next fight. But yeah, all in all, how I would describe his performance, workmanlike, he looked okay, showed some good promise, but that's really all as far as I can go. I'm not saying he was completely terrible, but at the same time I was expecting a little bit more considering the hype that Devin Haney's been getting in recent months. So yeah, satisfactory I guess, but nothing that really makes you, stand there with awe kind of thing. But there we go, it is what it is. Devin Haney wins this fight by a 12-round unanimous decision, and he moves on to his next fight. Gamboa, at times, Gamboa's game plan basically was to sit there, wait, and try to land a big power shot to knock Devin Haney out. He landed a few shots here and there. In fact, in round 6, he actually caught Devin Haney with a couple of good power shots, and I noticed a slight dip in the legs of Devin Haney. Maybe that was a balance thing. I don't think he was really hurt, but, Gamboa was landing at times, but Devin Haney took it quite well. And yeah, Gamboa fought the best fight he could have, but ultimately he's past his best, well past his best, and undersized at lightweight. Far too small for lightweight. But Gamboa, fair play for going the distance. I wasn't expecting that. I was a big fan of Gamboa back in the day when he was a featherweight, but it's time for Gamboa to call it a day. He's long in the tooth. If he wants to stay around as a journeyman, fair enough, but yeah, Gamboa's best days are long behind him at this point. Anyway, share your thoughts below. Beanie Guy Del Boy. Peace.